The next issue we want to talk about, David mentioned earlier, was this SB 990, and there's always been a fog around nuclear energy, the whole thing nuclear, because it's just so complicated, and people just kind of tune out. But this SB 990. 990 is I've seen it on Facebook, and I really haven't understood what it's about. So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah. So in the Oregon legislature, there is this bill SB 990, which was introduced, and well, I'll go back. So in 1980, the citizens of Oregon were asked through a ballot measure if they wanted to ban all future nuclear facilities in the state until there was a national repository for the waste.
And there's problems with that. So,
yes, there's problems for that. So 1980, this is almost 40 years later. So anyway, we, the voting citizens of Oregon, said yes to that. So since that time, since 1980, we have had no new nuclear facilities built in the state of Oregon because of it. And so this SB 990 is a workaround and would essentially overturn the voters' wishes from 1980.
And it's not up to a vote for the people like that one was.
No, SB 990 would be something that the legislature would do. The Senate has already approved it. And what it does is it says that cities and counties could put a ballot measure on the local ballot to allow the building or siting of small nuclear reactors in their communities. And small nuclear reactors are something that, rather than having these large Trojan type of reactors, these are smaller reactors, but they are they're modular in nature, so you could bank them together and create still smaller, not Trojan type, but still smaller ones. But we could have these as a series of nuclear reactors throughout the state. And only the local community would have to vote to approve the siting of these nuclear reactors. So this, just because they're small doesn't make them any less dangerous.
This reminds me of a while back when the federal government was trying to bribe some of the tribes. The Goshoot Indian tribes, I think, accepted a bunch of money in order to site a bunch of nuclear waste there. Mm-hmm. Sounds like the exact same tactic.
It is the same kind of tactic. So SB 990, takes undermines, or I'll just say undermines the measure that we all passed at the ballot in 1980 to not site nuclear facilities in the state of Oregon until there's a national repository for the nuclear waste, which we thought at that time that Yucca Mountain was going to be that repository, and of course that has just not happened.
Nevada didn't
want it.
And
there's nothing else that's on the horizon that would be a national repository. So if you have all these nuclear reactors that this bill could potentially allow to have built in the state of Oregon, what are you going to do with the waste?
And there would be radioactive waste at every one of them. And also they'd all need a large amount of water to keep it cool. So it would use a lot of water.
Yes, there's a whole slew I have in front of me a letter from the Oregon Physicians for Social Responsibility.
Good group.
They do really excellent work. SB 990 is ill-advised, premature legislation that would create a special exemption from Oregon's voter-passed moratorium on nuclear power plant construction for small modular reactors. That's what that's about. This actually has already passed in the Senate. Only 3 senators voted against it, and so it has to be defeated now in the House. So I invite everybody to call your representative, your Oregon representative, and ask them to vote no on SB 990.
Anything on what the mayor, the governor would do about this? She could just get rid of it.
Don't know. Yes, the governor could veto it.
But it would be probably local jobs and different things
Well,
that's how they always appeal to people.
Yes. Now, and I think that this is one reason why this is happening in Oregon right now, is that one of the major manufacturers of these small nuclear module reactors is NuScale, which is a spin-off from Oregon State University in Corvallis.
Really?
And so so there is this local jobs kind of aspect to it. I don't know how many jobs would actually be created from it, but potentially, and so it's kind of I'm sure that they are the people that are behind this bill.
I was going to ask that, and I got off away from that, but it was OHSU, you said?
Oregon State University.
Oregon State.
I'm sorry, Oregon State University.
Wow. Well, mentioning jobs, well, that's not how many people in all these smaller towns all over the state have nuclear physicist experience. I mean,
Yeah, right.
they would be bringing people in. Maybe there'd be some jobs for the building it, just like just like the plant out there in the gorge where they want to bottle water.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few jobs building that, but after that,
well,
I'm glad that I heard that it was this was an alert by Lloyd Marbett.
Yes.
Who's been on the program a few times, and he's been on the program trying to get public utilities as well.
Yeah.
So he's on the ball with this, and I need to get a hold of him so we can talk about this.
Yeah, and Lloyd Marbett is, just for our audience who don't remember Lloyd Marbett, he is the person who initiated, I think, 3 or maybe 4 different initiative campaigns to close Trojan down. And of course, he was not successful in getting any of those approved, but shortly, just within months after the last one was defeated, and PGE, which operated Trojan, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to defeat it. PGE then had to close Trojan down itself
anyway.
because of all the leaky pipes and stuff. It was totally defective.